Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca at the Church of Chewbacca, and we're going to go over the NL East team affinities. We're going to rank them 1 through 5. There's going to be a comparison of only the players within the NL East, and it's just the Future Stars cards that came out in Stage 2 of the team affinity programs. Some of the criteria for ranking these cards is their attributes, if they have a glitchy swing or windup, if they're a switch hitter, if they play multiple positions, what the pitch repertoire is of pitchers, as well as what their quirks are. So guys, there's a different mix of things that go into how these card rankings work, and this is my personal opinion. You guys might agree or disagree. If you agree or disagree, you should leave some comments in the video below, as well as you should subscribe. That way we can continue to bring great content and grow this community. Also, a quick disclaimer for this video is I'm going to be using Baseball Prospectus and Baseball America's prospect rankings for their top 100. Whether or not the Future Stars players land in the top 100 rankings or not, I will mention that. It has really no effect on the card itself or how I rank the card. It's more just for kind of how these guys are rated in real life, as well as I will mention what they are rated within their organization and ranked. Let's get into it. At number 5, we have the future star, Adonis Medina, Philadelphia Phillies starting pitcher. He's a righty. He is 90 overall, has a 5-pitch repertoire that has a sinker, sweeping curve, changeup, 4-seam fastball, and slider. His sinker is going to hit about 95 on the gun. His 4-seam fastball is going to hit maybe 96, 97 on a good day. He throws a sweeping curve that has a good change of pace at 77 miles per hour with an 83 mile per hour changeup. So he has a good pitch differential between his hard stuff and his soft stuff, as well as a slider to throw in. There's a mix, although it is his 5th pitch, so I'm not exactly sure how that individual pitch's control is or how much it moves. Take a quick look at his attributes. He has 90 stamina, pretty good for a starting pitcher. I like to get a little bit higher, however, 90 stamina is pretty good. 87 hit per 9, 88 K per 9, 78 base on balls per 9 with 72 home run per 9. So pretty good across the board. Not the best, not the worst. Definitely an above average pitcher. As well as he does have 79 pitching clutch, 77 control. So he should be able to control his pitches pretty well with 82 velocity and 92 break. The break's really nice, especially since you're going to really have to go change your pace with this guy because he doesn't throw the ball too hard. Also, for his prospect rankings, he is number 5 within the Phillies organization. He's not top 100 in Baseball Prospectus or Baseball America, and he never was. So he's just one of those guys that has a pretty live arm in real life. However, he doesn't have the biggest or brightest arm whenever it comes to some other pitchers that are out there. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are stingy, untouchable, grounded, sinker baller, knee buckler, and illusionist. So he actually has some pretty good quirks for a pitcher that you're going to really have to mix it up. He'll probably be a little bit more contact than strikeout, although he does have untouchable, so he might get a little bit more strikeouts than his attributes show. Overall, I think he's a pretty good pitcher looking at his attributes. He's somebody that will probably be more towards the back end of grinding the entire team affinities. However, if you're a Phillies fan, he's really not that bad of a card. He could definitely be a 4th or 5th guy in your starting rotation for ranked seasons, guys, but the card's just not all that in a bag of chips, so he's going to have to come in at number 5 on this list. Jazz Chisholm comes in at number 4, the future star for the Miami Marlins. He's a shortstop that has a secondary position of second base, 94 overall, left-handed bat, right-handed throwing. As you can see, diamond hitting, diamond defense. And really, I'll be honest, this is probably the hardest division when it came to ranking these cards. Obviously, this is the 6th one we've done, so the last one. And pretty much there's 3 guys within this division that all play middle infield and pretty much have relatively the same attributes. So I had to base it on a few things that are a little bit different. Chaz Chisholm is the power guy out of the 3 options. However, these guys are pretty much interchangeable 2 through 4, if I'm being 100% honest. Even the first guy could actually fall down at 4. These cards are all relatively very close, especially because middle infield is a very important position. Shortstop, second base, as well as the 4th card is a starting pitcher that has Very live stuff, very good card. So it's one of those things, 1 through 4, very, very close. So it's very, very hard for me to rank them. They're pretty much all like 1A, B, C, and D within this division. However, I got Chisholm at 4, and we'll go over his attributes and I'll kind of explain why he fell in the 4 spot here. He has 90 contact versus righty, 71 contact versus lefty, 92 power versus righty, 83 power versus lefty with 63 vision. So pretty much the 63 vision is what puts him in the 4 spot. He has lower vision even though he has the most pop out of the middle infielders, as you'll find out looking at the other cards. The low vision makes him pretty hard to use at higher difficulties, especially because he doesn't have great contact. So his PCI against good left-handed pitching is going to be minute in Hall of Fame and Legend difficulty. He could also not have the biggest PCI in All-Star difficulty. Take a quick look at his fielding attributes, which are very good actually. 88 fielding, 89 arm strength, 86 arm accuracy with 85 reaction and 84 speed. So he does have a lot of range for the middle infield. And he does have a very good swing. So it's not that he doesn't have a glitchy swing. Like I said, it's very hard to rank these cards. And it's actually kind of funny because all the middle infielders are right-handed throwing and left-handed batting. Within the real world, he ranks number 3rd in the Miami Marlins organization, as well as 52nd in Baseball Prospectus and 88th in Baseball America. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are bomber, walker, quick reflexes, sniper, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. So the quick reflexes, he is going to have a lot of range in the middle, like I mentioned, especially with his speed and fielding. The bomber means he's going to hit bombs, and at shortstop, that's pretty important. There's not a lot of power guys at shortstop right now. And like I said, he does have a smooth swing where he does lift the ball pretty easily, especially for a lefty. Although a lot of lefties in this game do lift the ball, he has that type of swing that he just gets under the ball pretty nicely, and he can hit dingers. As for Walker, like I said, this is one of my favorite quirks in the game. Allows you to get those check swings. And I think it does match up well with if a guy's a good base on balls per 9. Maybe get him to not locate as well. Make the pitch go out of the zone. So really, this card's very good. He has good quirks. He has a lot of power for a shortstop. The vision is really what's holding him back here. But that's why he comes in at number 4 compared to the other 2 cards that we're about to go over. Luis Garcia, 92 overall, future star, second baseman for the Washington Nationals. Bats left-handed, throws right-handed with secondary positions at third base and shortstop. Comes in at number 3 on this list. He's 6'2", 190 pounds, so he's a pretty decent frame on him. He has diamond hitting, gold defense. Take a quick look at his attributes. 108 contact versus righty, 81 contact versus lefty, 81 power versus righty with 69 power versus lefty, and 90 vision. So this is why he came in 3 over the Chisholm, as he does have decent power versus righties, and he does have the 90 vision, and he has much higher contact. So he's going to have a pretty big PCI even at higher difficulties, as well as he has this secondary position to be able to play third base. So they gave him a slight edge over that Chisholm card. We'll look at his fielding, which is a little bit worse than Chisholm's, and he's a little bit slower. So he might be a better option at third base or second base than shortstop, because you want a really rangy shortstop and a guy with a lot of speed. Especially because if you get deep in the hole, you want to have a cannon to get out of that deep hole. So we have 80 fielding, 84 arm strength, 79 arm accuracy, 75 reaction, and 64 speed. So like I said, the pros of this card over Chisholm was he has better vision, he's a little bit better contact than Chisholm does, especially against the lefties. His fielding is a little bit of a downgrade versus Chisholm, and he's a little bit slower. But with the extra secondary position at third base, it makes him a little bit more versatile. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, 20/20 vision, pressure cooker, unbreakable, and bunt master. So his quirks aren't really any better or worse than Chisholm's. They're just different. He adds a 20/20 vision, so it'll be a little bit harder to strike out. And he has hitting machine, so he's going to get a little bit more base hits compared to the bomber with Chisholm. These guys were pretty much tied, and I went with pretty much the better vision and the extra secondary position gave Garcia the edge over Chisholm. So with how close it was, Garcia comes in at number 3 for the things I just mentioned. Let's move on to the next card. At number 2, we have Andres Jimenez, future star, shortstop for New York Mets. If I mispronounce his last name, I apologize. I'm assuming it's Jimenez. I couldn't find any clips on YouTube that said his last name and said it as Jimenez and Jimenez, so I'm assuming it's Jimenez just from the minor studying of Spanish that I had. If I mispronounce his name and you're a New York Mets fan, If you want to shun me, that's fine. I understand. But I'm going to go with Jimenez. And if I said it wrong, just correct me in the comments so that I know and can learn. And I apologize if I said it wrong to start. So he's a 93 overall shortstop. His secondary second base. He's a left-handed batter, right-handed throwing. He has about the same frame as Jazz. He's diamond hitting, diamond defense. Take a look at his attributes. 100 contact versus righty, 93 contact versus lefty, 62 power versus righty, 55 power versus lefty with 86 vision. He has 60 discipline, which isn't great. So as you can see, his hitting is much like Garcia's hitting, and obviously not like Jazz's, where Jazz has that big power. Garcia was more of a base hitter, and this Jimenez card is like that. Take a quick look at his fielding. It's 89 fielding, 86 arm strength, 82 accuracy, 95 reaction with 85 speed, 95 stealing. So essentially this card has the same speed as Chisholm, and he's more of a contact hitter like Garcia. So when I bumped Garcia up over Chisholm, I just felt that like Jimenez gets that bump over Garcia because he's a better fielder, but his hitting's much like Garcia. He also has pretty good vision, so he's going to have a decent PCI at hard difficulties. As you guys can see, they pretty much are middle infielders that can play shortstop or second base. They're left-handed batting, right-handed throwing, obviously because of defense, but they are just slightly the different card. So it's really like what's your favorite flavor of guy? Do you want a guy that fields a little bit more, a little bit faster? You want a power guy? You want a guy that's a little bit better at hitting but can play like more position? So it's just one of those things where like it just kind of depends what kind of player you are. For me, it goes Jimenez, Garcia, Chisholm in that order, and that's just how it is. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, 20/20 vision, quick reflexes, sniper, speedster, thief, pressure cooker, unbreakable, and bunt master. So another factor in this too is Jimenez just has more quirks than the other two guys. He has 9. I think the other guys have 5 and 6. He has the hitting machine and 20/20 vision, just like Garcia. For the quick reflexes, which Chisholm had, he has the quick reflexes just like Chisholm. So he's, like I said, he's kind of a little combo of the other two guys, but a little bit less power than both of them too. I just think at shortstop, you need a guy that can play outstanding defense, and the Jimenez card can do that for sure. And you don't need a guy that's really much of a power hitter. He's going to be like your 8 hitter, maybe your leadoff guy to set the table. Also, just so we can mention it real quick, he's number 3 in the Mets organization. Baseball Perspective has him at number 90, and then he's not in the top 100 in Baseball America. So he's one of those guys that's like right at the edge of the top 100. And I think he'll actually be a pretty good pro in real life. Like I said, I was trying to figure out how to pronounce his name properly. And I watched him his highlight film. He seems to have a very nice swing in real life. I'm assuming in the game it translates. I haven't got to use his card at all. I based this one pretty much on his attributes and how I think he would play. Guys, Jimenez comes in at number 2 on the list. And it was just very, very close. At number 1, we have the starting pitcher, future star card for the Atlanta Braves, Kyle Wright. He's right-handed throwing, 6'4", 200 pounds, has a 5-pitch repertoire that has a 4-seam fastball, slider, curveball, sinker, changeup. He is number 4 in the Braves organization. He is not in the top 100 for Baseball Prospectus or Baseball America. However, I think that's because he started 3 games last year in Major League Baseball, and he was not very good, if I'm being 100% honest. And I just think because of that, they took him out of the prospect rankings because he's pretty much going to be a Major League starter this year in the Atlanta Braves rotation. So he's no longer really a prospect because he's going to get his time in the show. Take a quick look at his attributes. He has 95 stamina, 93 hit per 9, 96 K per 9, 78 base on balls per 9, 70 home run per 9 with 88 pitching clutch, 82 control. So he's going to have very good control of his pitches. He has 90 velocity and 91 break. You can see in his pitch repertoire that he has a good mix with the 4-seamer that can go maybe 98 miles an hour, and then a pretty slow curveball and changeup, with the curveball being 80 miles an hour, the changeup being 82 miles an hour. And he has a slider that's pretty hard at 87, so you could probably bump that up to 90. And he also throws a sinker. So the fact that he does have these 5 pitches, I think, makes him pretty good. But as I mentioned, he could have finished at 4th on this list, depending on how you view some players, if I'm being honest. And the other guys that are all the middle infielders could have got bumped up a spot each. Or Kyle Wright could have threw it somewhere in the mix in the middle. I just think that with the beginning of his attributes, you look at those 9s, they're pretty good. His biggest downfalls is 70 home runs per 9, which isn't the best, but it hits that 70 threshold that I like to see to get that grounded. So we'll look at his quirks, see if he has grounded, and if he does, big plus. Take a quick look at them. Pressure cooker, workhorse, stingy, untouchable, grounded, sinker baller, knee buckler. So he does have the sinker baller, which makes his sinker more effective. He has a knee buckler for the 2 breaking pitches with the slider and the curveball. He doesn't have illusionist, which is kind of unfortunate. He doesn't have illusionist, which is kind of unfortunate for his changeup, but I think that's because it's his 5th pitch. I would assume if you're pitching with him, you don't throw that pitch that much. The workhorse is super important for that deep in game, so he's definitely a good starting pitcher to have if you want to eat up some innings if you're pitching well with him. And the stingy and grounded just speak for themselves. Limit those base hits, limit those home runs. I just really think this card's very well rounded and has some high-end per 9s with that 93 hit per 9 and 96K per 9. Because of those high attributes, Kyle Wright comes into number 1 on this list for me. If you guys disagree with the list or think that some other guy should have been higher, how about you leave a comment down below, especially with those middle infielders. Maybe you guys rank them a little bit different and think of them a little bit differently. How about you leave a comment about it so we can have a discussion about them. I appreciate everyone watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up so I know that I'm doing a good job. Hit that notification bell. That way you know when I'm uploading videos. If you are enjoying the content and you would like to watch me live, I would love it. Come over to twitch.tv/HopefulChewbacca Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. However, I don't have a set schedule, so you're going to have to follow me on Twitter to know when I go live at Hopeful1137. Also, guys, if you want to play a friendly or have any questions, you can always add me on PlayStation Network, Hopeful1137. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a great day and be safe.